Hello everyone. Today I'll be talking about the idea of poesia, not as something written down, but as a mood or a feeling, and how that comes through in the paintings of Giorgione. His work doesn't tell us full stories in the traditional way. Instead, it creates emotion, something quiet, mysterious, and hard to fully explain. Giorgione doesn't lay everything out. He gives fragments, moments of stillness, tension, nature, and silence, and let us sit with them. That's what makes his art feel so poetic, not because of the words, but because of how it holds meaning without needing to explain it. In this video, I'll go over a few of his artworks, and at the end, I've even included a short mood board to capture the emotional tone of his style. Before I go into paintings, I want to explain what I mean by poesia and why Giorgione fits into the idea. Giorgione was a Venetian painter from the early 1500s, and even though he died young, his work really stood out. He was different from a lot of artists of his time because he didn't focus on clear religious stories or historical scenes. Instead, his paintings were more emotional and open-ended. They felt like snapshots of something deeper, something you're meant to feel and not necessarily understand. That's where poesia comes in. In this case, it's not about writing or language, it's about atmosphere. It's the kind of poetry that happens through mood, silence, mystery, and subtle emotion. Giorgione's works doesn't explain much, but it says a lot through the way it looks and feels, and that's what makes it poetic. The Tempest is one of Giorgione's most talked about paintings, mostly because no one really knows what's going on. There's a man on the left, maybe a soldier, maybe a civilian, and on the right is a woman who is nursing a baby. In the background, there's a storm building, but none of the figures in the artwork seem to react to it. They don't even acknowledge each other. They just exist in the same space, quietly, almost like they're in completely different scenes. The landscape feels heavy. The river cuts through the middle, the trees lean slightly, and the sky looks like it's about to break open at any second. Giorgione doesn't explain anything, but that tension, the feeling that something's just out of reach, like something's about to explode, is what makes it feel poetic. It leaves you thinking, but without giving you any answers. Sleeping Venus feels completely different from The Tempest, but it still has that same quiet Poesian mystery. Venus is alone, asleep in the natural landscape. Her body blends into the hills behind her. It's like she's a part of the earth instead of separate from it. There are no interactions, no action, just stillness. Her pose is relaxed, but the painting doesn't feel lifeless. The way the light touches her skin, the way the clouds rest in the background, it all feels intentional, peaceful, but watchful. Giorgione paints her as more than just a figure. She feels symbolic, maybe of beauty, maybe of nature, maybe something more personal to Giorgione himself. And again, there is no explanation. The poesia comes through in how little is said and how much we're left to feel on our own. The sunset feels more active than Giorgione's other works, but he still holds it back from telling us the whole story. A knight pierces a dragon with a spear, while two saints sit nearby. One is reading and the other is tending to the reading saint's wound. They don't seem rushed or alarmed. It's like three different moments are happening together, but without urgency. The sky glows orange, and even with everything going on, the painting feels calm. Dramatic things are unfolding, but it's still strangely still. Giorgione doesn't connect the dots. He places these scenes side by side and lets the atmosphere speak for itself. It almost feels like a dream, where separate images blend into one feeling, even if they don't logically fit together. That's where the poesia comes in. The sunset doesn't signal the end of the day. It's like a fading moment, where meaning lingers without needing to be clear. The pastoral concert looks peaceful at first, but it's kind of strange the longer you look at it. Two men are sitting in nature playing music, and next to them are two nude women. One is pouring water, the other one is just sitting there. What's weird is that the men don't seem to notice them at all. It feels like the women might not even be real. Maybe they're muses, or maybe they're just part of the atmosphere. There's no real action or clear story happening, but it still feels full. The setting is calm, the lighting is soft, and everything blends together in a quiet way. Giorgione doesn't explain anything. He just gives us a scene that's more about the mood than the meaning. And that's why it feels poetic, because it's emotional, a little surreal, and completely open to interpretation.